everyone, and welcome to this video. Now this is a simple video, and because I have written a book, actually two now, but the second one's not published. Since I have one published book, I thought I would share some tips that I learned in my journey. Basically 5 years writing. Now this is mostly tips for beginners, but if you're not a beginner and you've just realized that plotting is just not your way, then feel free to watch this video. Anyways, so this video is about writing tips when you're writing a story. Probably mostly it's going to pertain to fantasy because that's what I write, that's what I read. That's what this channel's about. So it's going to be pertaining to fantasy, and it's going to be pertaining to people who just can't plot out their stories, who just have an issue doing it. And it's no one's fault. Some people's brains just work a little differently. Like me, can't plot for crap. I was foolish when I started because, frankly, I had to do a lot of editing. Now, I went in completely blind, didn't even build my world, so here's my first tip for you. Build your world first. It'll help you do so much. It's not actually plotting, it's making your backstory, not just starting off with like how I did. Like, okay, I have a character, she's a princess, she has magic. I'll figure it out as I go along. That's how I wrote. Now, I had to backtrack a lot because in the beginning she didn't like to use her magic. Now she depends on it almost too much, and yeah, I even didn't draw my map, which I'm gonna just show right here. Right here is the map I ended up drawing. Right here's the map I ended up drawing. Now, little copy stains. I didn't draw that until I was on my second round of editing. Yeah, I should have built my world first. So that's my main advice. Build your world. At least have fundamentals, have a layout, have just the basics of your world built, because it will help your editing process a whole lot more. Now after that, my second tip is to make your characters. I just naturally did that because I had characters. I just had to figure out how I wanted them to interact, and certain things changed, other things didn't. But they're still the characters I had in the beginning. So, make your characters and let your characters take you on their journey. Plotters, they plot out their stories. They know where their stories are going. Pantsers, or as I like to call us, intuitive writers, don't know where we're going. We don't know what's gonna happen. We just know maybe a start and an end point. That's it. Nothing else. We just go with the flow, see where it takes us. And that's honestly what makes intuitive writing kind of fun. And honestly, I've always known I was not a plotter, because in school, whenever I had to do written tests for English, making a story off of a picture when I was in elementary, they told me I had to plot out my story first. And me, being me, decided, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And so I didn't, and then I put in the plotting after I finished writing the story, so I'd still get grades on the plotting. Honest, and I just made it very like differently from the actual product. So yeah, never really been a plotter. In fact, teachers tried to make me one. Didn't work. But yes, make your characters and let them just do what they want. Let them tell their story, and you are just the thing that just like puts it out in words and brings it out into the world. Your characters are leading it. Tip number 3. If you're stuck, put in parentheses what happened and move on. Because you can come back to it later. And in fact, later you might find a way to actually bring about whatever happened. Like in my second book, and I know it's somewhere in there, in parentheses, I have to put in a name because I just couldn't think of a name for a character. And so I just put in insert name here and moved on with the story. And of course I'm going to go back to it. So yes, that is a good tactic. A lot of other people say, write different parts of your story. It doesn't work as well with intuitive writing because you're writing as it happens. So trying to write a different part without this other thing that happens that comes way later, it doesn't really work because we don't have anything plotted. We don't have anything planned. That's one of the crappy advices to follow when you are a pantser or intuitive writer. It's just best that you put in parentheses generally what you think should happen, and if it happens differently, editing is your lifesaver. But also try to make it so you don't have to spend months and months and months editing your book over and over and over and over again. It's just good to keep these things in mind when you're writing, and I wouldn't do it all the time. Just when you're really actually stuck. Or you can just plow right on through. Just try and write it. And then you can fix it up later. Tip number 4. Get a separate notebook and write all the little things like hair color, eye color, where the people hail from, how, if they're short or tall, anything like that. Because, frankly, you could just not remember, and then you have to go back, find out what it is. If you just have it written down, you'll know. Now, for me, I didn't do that in the beginning, which made things really hard because my world's very complicated. There's different eye colors, there's different magical shapes for different kingdoms, there's different colors for each kingdom, there's different this and that and this and that, and it gets very confusing after a while, and when you don't visit something for a bit, then you have to keep rechecking and rechecking and rechecking. So, for the love of God, just get a separate notebook and write in there anything that could be of importance. Eye color, hair color, height, character names, titles, anything that could come up later. Write it down in a notebook so that you can reference it when you need to. It will save you a lot of time, trust me. Number 5, and our last tip for this video, is apparently what I said in my second tip. So we're going to come up with a new tip. So my last tip for this video is to have fun. Don't think of it as a chore. Intuitive writers don't like to think of their writing as a chore. It's something that you alone get to watch unfold first. And it's amazing. It's great. You get to see all of this. Also, don't be afraid for your emotions. Don't be afraid of them. They are what are going to guide you. Your emotions, your own experiences, they will guide you through this and help you be a better writer. Intuitive writing has its challenges, but so does plotting. And for me, I'm an intuitive writer, and I prefer to do that over plotting. Plotting is, you know what's going to happen. You know what you have to do. It doesn't matter. Intuitive writing is fun, and you should enjoy it. And don't think of it as a chore. Think of it as something that you just get to see unfold before you, and you're the first person to ever see it. It's really the 5 tips I have for my intuitive writers. Maybe you plotters found something that you could pick up, but I don't know. Again, I'm not a plotter. I don't know what the plotting life is like. So, yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for your notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!